Welcome back, 6th grade. This is Mrs. Dials, and I'm going to be teaching you your lesson for today because Miss Nicholson is not feeling so well yet. We are going to head back to our workbooks, and we're going to be in lesson 5-4. So if you'll turn in your workbooks to page 287, that's where we will get started today. And we are going to head into algebraic expressions. And remembering to use order of operations today. Okay, so page 287, if you'll just look at the bottom, it says that the variables or the letters in an algebraic expression can be replaced with a number. Okay, this is called substituting. You'll hear that, or we'll say plug in that number for that letter. So that just means that you will replace a letter with a number. And once you do that, you can find the value or the answer to the expression. Okay, so for instance, it says, suppose that x is equal to 5 in this expression. Okay, so they give us an expression and they tell us what x is equal to. Then they just want the answer to the expression. So if you notice down here, they made the x be red, 4x plus 2. And they told us that x was 5. So notice in place of the x, they put a 5. Now that does not mean 45. It means 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. And then we add the 2 and get 22. So the expression is equal to 22 when x is 5. Okay, so let's turn to the next page and see what we need to do there. Again, they give us an expression this time that is just 6b and asks us to evaluate that, means get the answer, when b is a half. Okay, so we come down here and we replace the b with a half. Notice that in the previous example, they put parentheses. Here they put a dot, but it means 6 times b. 6 times a half, or a half of 6, is equal to 3. Okay, so this one, the value is 3. Okay, so now let's look at the next one where you have to do a little work. It says evaluate when x divided by 6, or x over 6, evaluate that when x is 33. Okay, so you can pause this video right now if you want to try it on your own. Okay, but what you would do is you would just say, okay, I'm going to put the 33 in place of the x. So I can see that I just have 33 divided by 6. Okay, well, 6 goes into 33 5 times with 3 left over. So I'd get 5 3/6 or 5 1/2. Okay, so that one's pretty short. Let's look at this next one. Sometimes you'll have 2 variables. This says evaluate the expression, or the expression x plus y when x is 3/4 and y is 2/3. So that means I would put the 3/4 in place of the x and the 2/3 in place of the y, like they did down here. 3/4 plus 2/3. Okay, and at that point, it becomes just solving the math. Okay, you'd have to get a common denominator to add. So the common denominator would be 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so 3/4 is the same as 9/12. 2/3, if I multiplied by 4 over 4, I would get 8/12. I'd add that together to get 17/12, which is improper. So that would be equal to 1 5/12. So that would be the answer to this expression, 1 5/12. You can write that there if you want to. Okay, so let's look at this next one. Again, I would encourage you to pause the video and try this on your own and then check your work. Okay, we are supposed to evaluate a plus b, and they tell us what a and b are equal to. Well, a is equal to 5/6, and b is equal to 3 1/4. So then I'm just supposed to add those two together. Again, you have to have a common denominator to add. And the best common denominator would be 12ths in this case. To get 12ths, you would have to multiply the 6 times 2. So you multiply the 5 times 2, that would be 10/12. 1/4, you would have to multiply the 4 times 3 to get 12. So 1 times 3 is 3. And then we would add, so we would get 3 whole and 13/12, which is improper. That would be 1 whole and 1/12. So my final answer would be 4 whole and 1/12. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next page where we get a little bit more action. Those are pretty simplistic. Let's look at this next one. Notice this. We've got parentheses, we've got 3 variables, we've got division and an exponent. So this one looks a little more interesting. Okay, your first step is, if you notice what they did, was for each variable, they took the number that it was equal to and they substituted it. Okay, so in place of the x, they put a 4. So that would be 5 times 4 right there. In place of the y, they substituted a half. So that would be 4 times a half. And in place of the z, they put a 3. Okay, so now we follow order of operations. Okay, 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times a half is 2. And 3 squared is 9. Okay, so now I look and the next thing I would need to do would to be solved inside the parentheses. 20 minus 2 is 18, and then 18 divided by 9 is 2. So the value of that expression is 2. All right, now I really would encourage you to pause right now and do this next check, and then come back and see how you did. Okay. If I would work through that, I would say, okay, x is 12. So 12 divided by 4 plus 2 parentheses. Now they said y is 2, or y is 7. So there'd be 7 to the second power minus 3 times z is 8. So I substituted all my numbers. So now I'll go through order of operations. I'm going to look in the parentheses. And I see a 7 to the second power, which is 49. And I see multiplication that I will do before that subtraction. 3 times 8 is 24. And I can simplify that. That would be 3. Okay. Then I'm still in the parentheses. 49 minus 24 would be 25. Next step in order of operations would be the multiplication. So that would be 50. So my final answer would be 53. I hope you got that. Okay. Let's go to the next page. This next page ties in a little bit of geometry. And you can see in the figure that we have a trapezoid. I don't know that you've done a lot with trapezoids. But even if you haven't, it doesn't matter. You can do math problems that you're given with figures you don't even know if they give you the formula. Okay, they gave us an expression. It says the expression 1/2 times a in this picture, which you can see is the height, times b plus c added together, that's the 2 bases, can be used to find the area of this trapezoid. Okay, so it says, what's the area of the trapezoid when A is 9 8/10, B is 12, and C is 7? So notice they take the formula, or the expression, and in place of each variable, they substitute its value. A is 9.8, B is 12, and C is 7. And from there, you follow order of operations. So if you follow what they did parentheses first, which will give you 19. And then you just go in order. You have 3 things multiplied. So 1/2 times 9.8 is 4.9. Multiply by 19 and you get 93 1/10 would be the area of the trapezoid. 93 1/10 square inches. Okay, so now it's time for you to try one. Okay, so again, pause the video, try it, and then see if you got the right answer. Okay, I'm going to write down the formula first. 1/2 A, B plus C. And then I'm going to substitute in place of A. It says it's 3.7. And I'm going to put parentheses there instead of a dot. Okay. Then the B is 6 4/10. And the C is 3 6/10. Okay. So then I work inside my parentheses. And if I added that together, let's see, that would be 10. 10 whole. That's nice. And I would just write the rest of this down. Okay. Next thing you do, now since it's multiplication, you can do it in any order, but a half of 3.7 is 1 85/100 times 10 would be 18.5. And let's notice our units. This was in centimeters. So since it's area, it would be square centimeters or centimeters squared for the area of that trapezoid. Okay, so again, this lesson is really just substituting the value or the number of the variable in its place and then following order of operations. So we have one more task to do here, or maybe two. It's the apply problem. And this is about picture frames. We had a picture frame problem in those Aspire questions. But notice this, it says the table shows the dimensions of 3 rectangular picture frame sizes that Martina is making. How much wood is needed to make 2 small frames and 3 large frames? I'm going to underline that so I don't forget. 2 small and 3 large. The perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Hopefully you remember that. Should have done that a lot. Here's your lengths and here's your widths. You know, the perimeter, you add them all up. So you have 2 lengths and you have 2 widths that you add together. Okay. Notice that it's just asking about the small and the large frames. So just in our chart up here, notice they give us length and width. Let's just find the perimeter of a small frame. It said it was 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So let's just do this off to the side. That would be 6 plus 10. So that's 16 inches for the perimeter of a small frame. Okay, and let's look at the large. 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That would give us 16 plus 20, which would give us 36 inches. Okay, now we go back to the question. Remember, I underlined something. We want to know how much wood is needed for 2 small frames and 3 large. So what down here where they give us maybe a little more room, maybe we can write down here. 2 small, I'm going to make myself a note, 3 large. Okay, well, 2 small frames, a small frame we said was 16 inches of wood. Which, so for 2 would be 32 inches of wood for 2 small frames. 3 large frames, well, large frame took 36 inches of wood. So that would give us 108 inches. So if we added that up, 2 small and 3 large, that would give us 140 inches of wood for those picture frames. Okay, hopefully you followed that okay. I'd like you to turn the page and try the last kind of the apply check problem by yourself, and then come back and see if you got the right answer, and that will be the end of the lesson, okay? At a garage sale, Georgia found some DVDs and CDs that she wanted to buy. Each DVD cost $3, each CD cost $2. She also has the option of paying $25 for the entire box of DVDs and CDs. Okay, so it says evaluate the expression 3D plus 2C. Okay, so notice it was $3 for the DVDs, $2 for the CDs. When D is 4, that means there's 4 DVDs, and C is 7, that means there are 7 CDs. Okay, And then it says, well, what would the difference be between the cost of just getting the entire box for $25 or buying it this way individually? Okay, so let's write down your expression, 3D plus 2C. And we're going to substitute in the D, they told us, was 4. The C is 7. 3 times 4 is 12, and 2 times 7 is 14. So that gives us a total of $26 if we bought it this way individually. Remember, buying the box was $25, so the difference in that is only $1. $1 difference. Okay, hopefully you followed that lesson okay. I don't feel like that one was too bad. Okay, so you can stop the video now, and I think Miss Nicholson will probably post which homework problems she wants you to do next. I'm not sure the numbers. She might want you to do all of it or just part of it. But hopefully we're good on that, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.